Welcome everyone. Today's topic of discussion is neuroscience of romance. So here in this context there are three key players. Actually they are all neurotransmitters like dopamine, oxytocin and serotonin. And you know that dopamine is known as feel-good hormone. Oxytocin is known as what? It is known as love hormone. And also serotonin is there. And release of serotonin depends on the overall mental state or overall emotional state. Okay, so its nature is very complex, nature of serotonin, and oxytocin is there and dopamine is there. So dopamine is known as a feel-good hormone. Actually, whenever during the act of giving or receiving a red rose, yes, we are talking about here the act of giving or receiving a red rose, what happens in that case actually. So what happens? So there it triggers the reward system. Means actually it triggers the release of dopamine hormone because our brain's reward system is activated during the act of giving or receiving a red rose. So here reward system that does not mean a physical substance. Means reward here in the context of neuroscience it does not mean necessarily a physical substance like food, money or any gift, any physical gift. Okay. It may be non-physical also, like your girlfriend's sweet smile can be considered a reward by your brain because you like it. Okay. That means your brain can consider this as a reward. So during the act of giving or receiving a red rose, there is a release of dopamine. Okay. Again, there is a release of next hormone is what? Oxytocin, known as love hormone or bonding hormone. Okay. So actually the release of this depends on the touch, bonding, deep bonding. Okay. In that case, there is a release of this hormone oxytocin, and this also depends on this also happens in case of giving or receiving a red rose. And I have already mentioned that serotonin nature of this is complex. It depends on the it acts actually as a mood regulator and social confidence. Okay. So in this case, what happens actually, it does not depend only on the act of giving a red rose or receiving a red rose. It depends on, its release depends on overall emotional state. Okay. Anyway, so these are the three neurotransmitters, the release of which depend on during such activities like giving or receiving a red rose. So we are talking about red rose here. Why red rose? Because red rose, over time, red rose has become a symbol of love. And this is known to our brain. So whenever such acts happen, means I am talking about giving or receiving a red rose, so this act actually is reinforced by our brain. And it recalls the past memories of love and romance. And that way it actually enhances the past experiences, the past feelings of love and romance. Okay, that way it enhances your pleasure or it enhances your positive feelings. Okay. And you know that one more thing is there, we are talking about here now, right now, smell of a red rose. Yes, whenever you are inhaling the smell of a red rose, in that case also, one thing happens because our olfactory system, which is responsible for inhaling smell, okay. So our olfactory system is linked to the limbic system, and the limbic system that is actually responsible for emotions. Means this is known as the emotional center of our brain, limbic system. This is known as the emotional center of our brain. And there are many regions in the limbic system, out of which two are important in this context of discussion. and those two are amygdala and hippocampus. Together, amygdala and hippocampus, they process and stores memories. Okay, so whenever you are inhaling the smell of a red rose, in that case, it sends signals to the limbic system. And that way, the feelings of love, the feelings of pleasure is enhanced by our brain. Okay, so what are the key players here? Here the one thing is responsible, that is the limbic system, and other things are the neurotransmitters. So more important is oxytocin and dopamine, release of dopamine and oxytocin. They are more important because serotonin, this depends on the overall emotional state. So serotonin is not that much important in this case of, means why we are discussing about neuroscience of romance. In that case, the more effective is the release of dopamine and oxytocin. So dopamine is known as what? Feel-good hormone, and oxytocin is known as the love hormone. Okay, so both are released. Actually, all the three neurotransmitters may be released, but not necessarily they should be released together. Means they should be released at a time. That is not necessary. Okay, depending on many things, they may be released one after another. Anyway, so all these three are responsible for the feelings of love. You know, feelings of love means what? Okay, there are many types of feelings which can be which can be considered as the feelings of love, such as nostalgia. That is also a feelings of love. Anyway, so this was all about today's topic. In short, I have discussed in short. Okay, this is a short discussion on this topic. The same thing can be discussed elaborately, but for that purpose, I'll make a separate video, and there I'll discuss separately the role played by all the three hormones. Means for each hormone there will be a separate video. Okay, like oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. Then another video I'll make considering only the limbic system. Okay. Anyway, so I have discussed here in short. Anyway, so this was all about today's topic, the neuroscience of romance. Okay, and we have taken here as an example only a red rose. Okay, many things can be considered here during the discussion. So this is the end of this video. Thank you for watching this video.